In the name of the Father, the Son, God the Holy Spirit, and to the service of humanity.
Your Excellency, the wife of the governor of Abia State, Lady Nnenna Oti.
Hello.
Permit me to use you to reach out to all the ladies in this event this evening. Distinguished Senator Darlington Wokocha, let me also use you to reach out to all the men who are here with us this evening. Gentlemen of the press, ndị ụmụahịa North, ụmụahịa South, Igwe anọ, ndewonu. I've titled my short speech, Raising the Bar. Urbanization is an enterprise in the expansion of the acres of opportunities, the pursuit of freedom, and the multiplication of optimistic ideas. An important lesson of our civilization is that cities and towns are built on the outlook of visionary men and women, individuals who pay no attention to the predictions of naysayers. Today we've gathered as witnesses to the actualization of what was once thought impossible, a mega project that speaks to the size of our ambition as a government. In form and significance, what we have come to do this hour is to make an emphatic announcement that the days of playing small is over. We shall no longer confine ourselves to the margins, nor think less of our ability, for we belong to the lineage of dreamers, thinkers, and builders. The timely completion of a multimodal transport terminal right here in Umuahia, with capacity for more than 340 buses per time, offers a convincing proof that something has shifted in our development trajectory. The appetite for quality road infrastructure remains evergreen, but having delivered hundreds of kilometers of quality roads over the last 3 years, we have now turned our attention to the broad spectrum of transport infrastructure ecosystem and the network of benefits it holds for economic growth, job creation, and new layers of capital investments. The planning and execution of this project, like you have been told, both by Engineer Biodo Otuola and the Honorable Commissioner for Transport, and of course the Principal Secretary and Chief Strategy Officer of the government, left nothing to chance. From security and comfort to accessibility for persons with special needs, this project combines needs-oriented design outlook with the marvel of engineering excellence. What we have gathered to commission is a facility that embodies our resolute commitment to environmental sustainability, service efficiency, and the dignity of man. May I also inform us that this giant structure is not a standalone isolated project. It is connected to the junction improvement work, like we have been told moments ago, that have been delivered at the Federal Medical Center and Club Road intersection, and the 13 bus shelters and articulated bus stops constructed at different parts of the state capital. The 20 electric buses currently flying intra and intercity routes in the state connect seamlessly to the improved transport service ecosystem we have envisioned, with the terminal sitting at the apex. The architecture is set up to enable the smooth flow of traffic into and out of our urban centers. Other value offerings include dignified pickup stations and drop-off points, buses that run at regular intervals, and a central terminal that can accommodate thousands of commuters at the same time. At this facility, waiting, boarding, offloading, and other elements of the transport equation are consciously thought out and planned for. Long before you step your foot on this ground, the entire project, beyond adding to the urban appeal of our dear capital, has greatly improved the daily commute experience of thousands of individuals, safety of road users and pedestrians, and a new culture of discipline amongst motorists. Outside Umuahia, we are currently working to complete the delivery of a similar project in Aba. Already, 40 bus shelters have been delivered in Aba. Furthermore, major infrastructure upgrades and laybys have been completed at critical road intersections in the commercial city. Our instance is both practical and symbolic. Practical because, like I just announced, these new layers of urban infrastructure have improved the daily commute experience of everyday people. And then symbolic because it has laid to rest the defeatist assumption that certain things cannot work here. The bar has been raised, but even then, the long-term success of this network of projects will demonstrate that our people are as disciplined and as orderly as any other people around the world. As I mentioned recently, 20 new electric buses are expected to arrive in the state in a few weeks. We are also hoping that before the end of the year, we shall take delivery of another 30 buses presently under construction. It may interest us to know that these buses are specially customized and designed to meet the specific transport needs of our people. Services will keep improving as more buses are delivered with time, and you can tell with accuracy when a particular bus will arrive and depart each bus station. This terminal, like you may have read in the news and have heard momentarily, has been named after Professor Nnenna Oti, the courageous INEC returning officer who demonstrated unflinching integrity in the discharge of her duties during a high-stake election assignment here in Abia in 2023. Through her courageous disposition of standing firmly by the truth and refusing to treat her role in the 2023 election as an invitation to a sudden banquet, she reminded us that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results by simply saying no. No to manipulation, no to injustice, no to conspiracy, and all such designs that steal the destinies of individuals and communities. At any rate, the decision to name this terminal after this excellent woman of valor also recognizes that she represents a broad team of unsung heroes, men and women, ordinary people, who did their job with dignity and integrity, refusing to trade the destiny of our people for the fleeting things of life. As a state, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the honest men and women who do their job well in 2023 governorship election, from the staff of INEC to the security operatives, party agents, and a large army of vigilant citizens who stayed awake for days on end, refusing to give an inch to those who sought to achieve victory by intimidation, bribery, and manipulation of figures. The state is better today because of the sacrifices you made as individuals and groups. We have named this gigantic structure after Professor Nnenna Oti, but in honor and remembrance of your collective forthrightness and patriotism. So what we are saying today is that Professor Nnenna Oti represents all those staff of INEC who never bent, all those party officials who didn't give in, all those people, security agencies, policemen, army men, DSS officials, so many of you, people who said no to intimidation. So she's just a representative of all of you. For the records, I would like to make it clear that it took a lot of efforts to convince Professor Nnenna Oti to agree to this gesture, because in her reckoning, just like she has said today, she merely did her job. In her book, however, she did more than tabulate and announce the true results of an election, a job many had previously failed at. Nonetheless, she actually lived out the age-old wisdom that a good name is superior to riches. I congratulate Professor Nnenna Oti and everyone who worked with her for ending the culture of electoral impunity in the state. I invite you not to relent in standing for truth and justice, wherever lies good takes you in the future. Lastly, I would like to thank the Honorable Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Chimezie Ukebu, and members of his team for the successful delivery of this project. Thank you for executing with an eye on excellence, the future and the new Abia standard. Many of us may not know, but what has been delivered is a complete ecosystem with an independent power and water supply to guarantee round-the-clock operational efficiency. We are profoundly grateful to every team member who made the necessary sacrifices to deliver an outstanding project. Commendations are also due to the planning project team led by Engineer Biodun Otuola for their commitment to value, functionality, and durability, and for allowing us to put them so hard that in some instances they have to bring down part of the job that they have done, incurring further costs. But like the engineer said himself, only the best is good enough for our dear people. This project, as we have heard from the Honorable Commissioner for Transport, belongs to all of us. We are therefore encouraged to take full ownership of it, particularly the Ibeku people who this project sees on their land. The President General of Ibeku, I am challenging you and members of your team to take direct ownership and ensure that nothing goes wrong here. We are therefore encouraged to take full ownership, like I said. The best way to use the facility and these component systems is to use it responsibly. There shall be no tolerance for practices such as indiscriminate disposal of waste, vandalism, or theft, as the full weight of the law will be brought to bear against offenders. May I also remind us that this project is another invitation to take our tax payment obligations more seriously. Taxes are the lubricant that oil the wheel of development. Let us then consistently remit to the government each share of the prosperity it is created in our community through investments such as this. Before I thank you for listening, I think it is also appropriate for us to observe a minute's silence in honor of the Honorable Commissioner for Transport, the first Honorable Commissioner for Transport we had, who passed on recently and had been laid to rest, Comrade Sonny Omuma. If you don't mind, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can we stand up and observe a minute's silence in honor of Honorable Sonny Omuma. May the soul of Comrade Sonny Omuma and others who departed faithfully rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure now to lead you to commission and declare open for public use the Nnenna Oti Bus Terminal.